gotta be an idiot to bet on that parlay.
It's DTF or bust.
Put it on my mama's porch tomorrow. Welcome back to Hold My Bet Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Park. Here with me, as always, the one, the only DTF.
What's
Done.
up, everybody?
How was your weekend?
My weekend was great, eventful. Went to game 5 of the ALDS, Guards Tigers. Great show out, sold out crowd. Not so great of a Saturday night for the Bucks versus the Ducks. Not so great of a Sunday for our Browns, but I'm numb. And then, as you can tell by the timestamp, we are recording a little late from our normal scheduled timing. And last night, the Cleveland Guardians lost game 1 of the ALCS against the Yankees. But tonight, a couple hours from now, we are going to bounce back. Bibby's on the mound. We got it. Coming home to Cleveland with the series tied.
Yeah,
That
that's
was my weekend.
yeah. You left out one major thing that happened. Your hat kind of indicates it too.
Yes, so Thursday evening, I got my first dough and took it Friday to get processed. And then this was the processing place, Deer Processing out in Ohio. And very accomplished, very proud of the work I put in to get this deer. It was a great feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing like it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um, But yeah, it's honestly a good thing that we waited till lunchtime today to record this because Davante Adams got traded. He actually got traded to the New York Jets. They finalized the deal today, where the Jets are going to send over a conditional third round pick, which I'm trying to see where it turns into a second round pick. I think he probably has to play a certain amount of snaps.
Yeah, I'm wondering, could improve. It just says it could improve to a second round pick.
I was just
Obviously,
reading
this
the article.
seems like a panic button for the Jets, following last night's loss to the Bills. They're 2-4. You look around the league, and I think the AFC East is in a spot where the Jets could come back. I mean, they've only played the Bills once, right? So,
Yeah, they've only played them once, and I mean, if you saw the game last night at all, granted, I was watching more of the Guardians than Bills and
right.
Jets, but I was peeking through. I mean, the Jets were in the game, and honestly, at some points, they were in the lead for quite a bit.
Yeah.
That Zerline kick at the end, him missing that field goal, really sucked because obviously they only lost by a field goal,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is cool because I just needed the Bills to win by one.
Well, the
Um,
good news for Jets fans is they've played 2 divisional games, and right now they're 1-1 in the division. So if they were looking to add somebody like Davante Adams to get that spark going, sure they have a 2-4 record, but they still could win out in the division and make the playoffs, or still have a winning record and make a wild card. Um, so this might just be the spark they needed. I mean, you're looking for that third wide receiver. Mike Williams obviously is going to be hitting the bench.
Yeah, and it also looks like the Jets are going to be paying the rest of Davante Adams' contract as well. So he's completely off the books for the Raiders. I wish the Browns could figure out how to do that with Watson, but that will never happen.
That's because nobody wants him.
Yeah, only way that would happen is if we gave whatever team took Watson Miles Garrett.
Yeah. Which we'll bring this up later. I have some theories, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it has something to do with the team up north.
Maybe.
Um, but yeah, I think the Jets are very much still in this. I think this does definitely give them a little bit of ammo. You know, I don't think a third or second round pick is really too much, really, if you're thinking about it for the Jets. I mean, you have Aaron Rodgers, who's I think he's over 40 now, or just about to turn 40 years old.
Fact check.
But regardless, he's only got a couple more seasons left. I think he's only under contract for 2 more years with the Jets, and then after, this saga, it's time to, rebuild, restart the whole thing. Um, but I think that this was the right move for the Jets. I'm glad he's not a Pittsburgh Steeler, of course. Um, just even though the Browns I know have no shot, I just don't want to see the Steelers get Davante Adams or someone like that.
Right.
Um, but yeah,
He
I
is
think this
he is
is
40.
he is 40. That's
He'll be
right.
41 December 2nd.
Okay. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that he's on the Jets. It makes that division a little bit more interesting because Buffalo they started off the season 3-0 and now they're 4-2 after dropping 2 games in a row. They finally got a win last night. They snuck it out. Um, I really think that division's still up for grabs.
Yeah,
Completely
and
up.
Tua's coming back eventually. So as long as the Dolphins don't dig themselves in too deep of a grave, Tua should be able to pull them out. I still think you fade the Dolphins for a couple weeks. I don't think they're going to do anything.
Yeah, no, I unfortunately think they're gonna miss the playoffs this year, but they could get that last wild card spot too. Very easily get that last wild card spot. Um, I don't necessarily think they can be thinking division, because they wait no, yeah, they were on bye this week, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
them and the Chiefs and the Vikings
Vikings.
and the
I'm trying to remember who else.
49ers.
No,
No?
no, they played Thursday night.
Oh yeah. Then it was the
The Rams?
yes,
Yeah.
Vikings, Rams, Chiefs, Dolphins.
Um, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into our week 6 slate. We have the San Francisco 49ers beating the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football 36-24. Uh, if anyone saw my tweet Thursday night, this was an absolute snooze fest in the first half. 49ers were just dominating. Seahawks came out strong the second half, started to make it a close game, and it was pretty much a close game all the way up till the very end, um, with the garbage time touchdown essentially to just, you know, put the game completely out of reach. Um, I don't remember how to pronounce this running back's last name, but Jordan Mason got hurt and they had Isaac come in and he got 99 yards off 10 carries with a 76-yard run.
Looks
Deebo
like
Samuel finally got his first touchdown of the season too.
Gurendo.
Yeah, Guerrero.
Gurendo. Gurendo.
Brock Purdy, 3 touchdowns. Geno Smith kind of held this team back. I mean, he had 312 passing yards, but 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Doesn't look like they could get anything going on the running game either. Um, but I think it's time if you're Seattle, you got to be thinking of drafting a quarterback this year, no matter how good you do this year.
Sure. And there's going to be a ton of quarterbacks to pick. I think this would be a good year for them to do that.
Yeah, and Geno Smith, he's in a point with his contract. Like they're set up good. Don't get me wrong. Like Geno Smith is going to be serviceable for this year, but I think it's time that you got to start looking at your future quarterback. Um, while you still have Geno Smith under contract for 1 year, let
Yeah, and
them groom the next quarterback. And
they do have Sam Howell, but I still don't know if I think Sam Howell's the guy.
no, I was big on Sam Howell up until pretty much this year. I wanted to see how he played in the preseason in Seattle. Uh, didn't really do too hot. Um, So I'm kind of checking it out on him. I think he's just going to be a serviceable backup quarterback from now on. Um, but hey, we said the same thing about Geno Smith, and look at him now.
Yep.
Um, but something I wanted to talk about in this game was Brock Purdy. So I was watching some clips from the Colin Cowherd show, and they had a debate on, who would you rather have over Brock Purdy? And or who would you rather who do you think is better than Brock Purdy? And I thought it was very interesting that he had Brock Purdy over Dak Prescott, but he had Bo Nix over Brock Purdy.
Interesting.
which I think is very interesting because he started bringing up his college career, and in all honesty, like when you get to the NFL, I think you got to kind of college career doesn't really mean shit.
But I think if you threw Bo Nix into the Shanahan system, I think he would do just as fine. Look at all the weapons that Brock Purdy has. Now throw Brock Purdy in the Denver Broncos situation. I don't think
It'd be
he's
a
the same
dumpster fire.
quarterback. Huh?
It'd be a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I think Bo Nix has the potential to be something a lot better. I mean, we'll get into that game, but he looked all right against the Chargers in the second half. I mean, it's the first half he was getting swarmed. His, offense couldn't get going. Um, obviously Justin Herbert was on fire, but Bo Nix, I think he's got a lot of potential, and I think Sean Payton knows what he's doing. But that's another good quarterback coach to have for Brock Purdy, and maybe Brock Purdy would be okay in that Peyton system. But I think if you throw Bo Nix into the 49ers system, he's looking like an MVP.
Yeah, yeah, no debate on that. I completely agree with you on that. Um, I just thought that was interesting, and it really made me start to think. Like why did he say that? And I just started looking at it. I watched a little bit more Bo Nix this week because, of course, I had the Denver money line, which we'll talk on tomorrow's episode or Thursday's episode, I should say, um, about how that went. But uh, I wanted to watch some Denver this year or this week, especially with the Browns not playing good and not many teams really playing good, which we'll talk more about. Um, but yeah, I was actually genuinely impressed with Bo Nix that second half.
Yeah.
Um, but next, let's go ahead and move into this London game. We had the Chicago Bears defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Of
who were
London.
not the London Jaguars, 35-16. Uh, Trevor Lawrence, not a very crazy game. I don't know what's going on with Jacksonville and their running game.
Well,
ETN's essentially been, non-existent.
now it's just been announced he's week to week.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what in the world's going on with him exactly. Uh they only ran the ball, it looks like other than like Trevor Lawrence running. Looks like they only ran the ball 16 times the whole game. But I
Yeah.
mean, also they were down pretty much the whole game as well. Evan Ingram had his first game back, 10 catches, 102 yards. Gabe Davis got 2 touchdowns as well in this. Brian Thomas Jr. didn't really see the ball a whole lot. Um, let's see. But the Bears, this is the bigger story. Caleb Williams had a 4 touchdown or passing touchdown game. He had one pick that was pretty bad, if you saw that one.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift had a good game, 17 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Um, Keenan Allen had 2 touchdowns in this game as well.
Oh yeah, he was
So
feeding Keenan Allen. He was feeding him.
yeah, caught every target that he got. Um, Cole Kmet also had 2 touchdowns. Looks like they were just complete air raid in this game, but he was just, sharing the love with everyone. But it was great to see Caleb Williams getting some good gameplay, and I'm excited to watch him in the future.
Yep.
Did you get to watch much of that game at all?
I watched about 3/4 of it. I missed the fourth quarter. I was getting ready to go for a party, but I watched most of it, and Swift looked really good. Like you said, I'm not sure what's going on with the Jaguars running game. Uh, we had talked about this game a lot because I said it seemed weird that the Jaguars were underdogs in London, and I was too quick to decide my Jaguars winning in London game. I didn't realize they're playing 2 weeks in a row in London, so you're gonna have to hold me back because I'm hammering the Jaguars again next week against the New England Patriots in London. But
So, yeah, I like that one.
obviously, I missed that one here. The Bears are just a better team here, so
Yeah, that Bears defense is legit too.
hmm
But let's go ahead and move on to our first 1 o'clock game. We had the Houston Texans absolutely dominate the New England Patriots 41 to 21. Um, Honestly, this game wasn't nearly as crazy as I thought it was going to be. Houston really ran the ball a whole lot. And Joe Mixon got two touchdowns his first game back, so that was awesome to see. Damian Pierce, who, played good his rookie year and then he kind of just fell off the face of the earth.
Yep.
Um, he got involved and got a touchdown as well. Um, but the big thing in this game was Drake May. Three touchdowns, two interceptions for 243 yards. Um, I actually thought he looked really good in this
I
game.
think for how bad that offensive line was, and for him being a rookie quarterback starting his first game, I was not expecting him to do this well. As you know, in my one bet, I hammered the alternate spread of the Texans winning by more than 9.5 points, and I just thought that was too generous. I thought I could have gotten away with 15, 16.5 points.
And you could
I
have.
really, yeah, I would have. I still would have. Yeah. Same with the Buccaneers. I thought that was the same scenario, but both Rattler and Drake May came in and they looked okay. They looked like they were comfortable in that spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I genuinely was really impressed, considering the weapons he has. Um, Definitely they need to work on that O line. It sucks that their best O lineman is out for the year now,
Yeah.
and David Andrews. But yeah, I think New England they have something to be excited about. I feel a lot better about Drake May than I did Mac Jones.
Hmm.
He doesn't have to be a check down god or anything like that, and I think Drake May is just going to get better and better.
For sure.
The more comfortable he gets, the better he's going to play.
Yeah, I think Patriots fans have something good to look forward to. I mean,
Yeah.
they're probably gonna have a top five pick, if not a top three pick in this year's draft. They'll be competing with the Browns for the worst spot. And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
truly believe that they can go ahead and get a weapon or another offensive lineman this year. I could see them getting that offensive tackle from LSU that everybody talks about.
Yeah,
Um,
Will Campbell.
yep, I could see
Yeah.
them going after him to give something for Drake May to protect or somebody to protect Drake May. Otherwise, you just go and maybe trade down a little bit and get the best receiver. I don't know.
Yeah, I think lineman's definitely going to be a good pick. Um, I'm kind of leaning more towards you with trading down depending on how high their pick is. Because someone's going to pay a ransom for Travis Hunter.
Hmm.
Because I don't
Which
really see many teams trading up for a quarterback in this draft. Because
which the
there's
Patriots
a
could be a
decent
good
amount of
fit.
quarterbacks that are going to be solid. Like I think even talking about the Browns, like I don't think we have to spend our first round pick on a quarterback this year because I think we can get like a honestly in most of these drafts I'm seeing like a Carson Beck drop to like the second or third round.
Yeah. I would love to go after Boise's running back in the first round. I don't see us making that smart of a decision, but
Yeah, I'd love Travis Hunter depending on how bad we play this year.
yeah. But would you take him as a receiver or a cornerback? That's going to be the question for anybody who takes him.
I'd take a receiver. I mean, feel it out. But hey, say a receiver doesn't work out, throw him at corner, see how he does, or throw him at safety even.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm huge on Travis Hunter. Um, but anyways, off topic. That's off topic. Um, let's get into my favorite, or I guess I could say it's my second favorite game. But this game was awesome, lived up to the hype. We had the Baltimore Ravens beating the Washington Commanders 30 to 23. Jayden Daniels still had a pretty good game. Not his most accurate game, going 24 for 35, but still had two touchdowns, zero interceptions, 269 yards. Didn't really get a whole lot going on the running game, but he was sharing the love all around with Scary Terry getting two touchdowns. And then Lamar Jackson, 20 for 26, one touchdown, one interception for 323 yards. Uh, Really, their offense was heavily dependent on two players, Derrick Henry, who got the ball 24 times for 132 yards and two touchdowns, And then Zay Flowers, who got 9 catches, 132 yards as well, but did not get a touchdown. Mark
Well,
Andrews finally got
yeah.
some love and got a touchdown though.
Welcome back, Mark Andrews.
Yeah, this game was really fun to watch. It's honestly nice seeing the Commanders be good again. Um, I guess that's something that I'm looking forward to with our team sucking so bad. Is seeing some of these other historically bad teams doing good. So I'm gonna definitely be rooting for them because I'm pretty checked out. I want my Browns to win, but at this point, just whatever it takes to get Watson out.
You know me. I'm rooting for my Buccaneers.
Yeah, yeah. I like Jayden Daniels though. I liked him coming out of college. Um, I believe I'm even said on the podcast saying that I liked him over Caleb Williams, which I really wasn't big on Caleb Williams until Hard Knocks. Um, or around that time, I started to watch a little bit more Caleb Williams, and I liked it a lot. I just think Jayden Daniels, he knows where, to make the right reads. Uh, he's super athletic. He's just so fun to watch. He's the closest thing to Lamar Jackson that we've gotten, but a better passer.
Hmm.
So yeah, I absolutely loved this game. I can't wait to see what Washington does to hopefully try and build a team around Jayden Daniels. Um, and he's definitely going to be the offensive rookie of the year unless Caleb Williams goes on a historic run.
Yeah, right now it looks like Jane Daniels is the favorite. I mean, Marvin Harrison getting injured this week doesn't help his case, and Malik Neighbors being out 2 weeks doesn't help his case.
Yeah, him going to the Travis Scott concert with concussion.
Yeah, yeah, and that doesn't make any sense to me. But players like Bo Nix, he's not flashy enough. You can argue. I mean, he's got more rushing touchdowns than a lot of other quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, and so be it. But I mean, he's not throwing up the numbers and the INTs are piling up for him. Jane Daniels just looks like the most complete quarterback at the moment. Complete
Then he's
rookie at
four
the
and two
moment.
too.
He's what?
He's 4-2.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, record. I mean,
He's beaten some good
you
teams.
gotta win. You gotta win ball games. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to look at their schedule though, the Commanders have beat the Buccaneers game one, which was, or I'm sorry, they lost game one against the Buccaneers, beat the Giants, beat the Bengals, Cardinals, Browns, Ravens. So arguably beating the Ravens and Bengals was impressive. Not sure about the Cardinals yet. Browns are trash this year, but Giants are weird. They're just kind of that like in between team right now, and the Buccaneers are good and they lost to the Bucks. So
Yeah.
they've got a couple weird stretch games coming up. They got Panthers, Bears, Commanders, Steelers, Eagles, Cowboys, Titans, Saints, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys. I mean, they have a tough division, but I think if they lose to the Bears in 2 weeks, we'll see, who the true offensive rookie of the year is because that's going to determine Caleb Williams or Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, that is true. Um, but let's go ahead and move into this next game. Don't really want to talk a whole lot about it, but we're definitely going to talk some about it, of course. We had the Philadelphia Eagles beating our Cleveland Browns 20-16, where the Cleveland Browns did not get an offensive touchdown. Our only touchdown was off a blocked field goal attempt by Myles Garrett and returned by
Yeah.
Rodney McLeod.
McLeod having 2 touchdowns, which is, I think, tied for the most touchdowns on our team right now.
It is.
Crazy. He doesn't even play on offense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
not
get
much to say here other than get rid of Deshaun. I've been saying it for weeks. At this point, Stefanski's got a gun held to his back when he's answering questions about the decisions being made. I think Haslam's are trying to prove a point that they paid for him, they're going to play him. And I think Stefanski's proving a point that, we're just going to keep sucking because this is what you wanted. And I don't know what you do from here other than bench him, let James play. We're not obviously going to make the playoffs. I think it's over. Nick Chubb shouldn't even want to come back and play this year. Why risk it if we're not even going to do anything? I mean, it just looks so miserable out there. you can't even convert on a third down. It was like 26 third
Yeah.
downs in a row he couldn't convert.
Oh, for 25. Yeah.
Amari Cooper looks miserable out there. He's not catching balls that are right into his hands. Jerry Judy's not running routes as great as he was projected to be one of the best route runners. Um, Forgot that we even had Cedric Tillman. We got rid of David Bell, brought him back. We have,
He's
Elijah
out for
Moore
the
out
year.
there. Huh? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, we've got all these pieces. Elijah Moore, don't even hear his name get called but once anymore a game. Um, Jerome Ford, probably out for a couple weeks with a hamstring. Pierre Strong is our third string running back, and he's probably going to be side by side with Chubb, taking more of the carries next week. It's just disgusting. I mean, this whole team is falling apart. The experiment is over. It's time to move on. It's time to just clean house and get over with it. I've had enough. I've had so much stress over the last 2 years waiting for like something good to happen. Joe Flacco was the good. That was our chance. It's over. Start fresh.
Yeah. It's completely over, I think, as well. I wanted you to talk about or did you want to wait till we get to the team up north?
Yeah, we'll wait.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't have much to say other than, you can't really blame the defense. I mean, 20 points, I mean, a lot of those points were field goals. Um, it just sucks that our offense can't do anything at all. Like, majority of the team deserves better play out of the quarterback, and I don't know. I don't know. It's just time to start fresh, you know, trade some of the players that have value. As much as I don't want to, you know, scrap this team, it's time to do something. Trade Amari Cooper is the one for sure thing I would do. If you
Yeah.
want to keep the defense, that's cool. But let's start building now. I'm done
Hmm.
with Deshaun Watson. He's literally done nothing for us. He had one good half in Baltimore last year and then was out for the year. And thank God Joe Flacco came off his couch to come save us. Um, I'm just over the experiment. I'm over it. It's been 3 years. We've gotten nothing from him. Anything good that we have gotten has came from literally someone off the couch. So I'm over it. So before I get into any more rants, let's go ahead and move into this next game where we had the Green Bay Packers beating the Arizona Cardinals 34-13. Um, Packers offense looked awesome. Jordan Love, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Um, Christian Watson had a good game back, and so did Romeo Dobbs after a video of Dobbs and Matt LaFleur um, went viral for Dobbs not really acknowledging the head coach. Um, he got 3 catches for 2 touchdowns and 49 yards. Um, and then defense looked awesome as well. Sucked for me because I had Kyler Murray as my quarterback this week
Hmm.
in one of my leagues. And Marvin Harrison Jr., I also started this week and got hurt in this game. Got 2 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards.
Same.
Is there any update on what's wrong with him exactly?
No, I mean, I think it was concussion protocol. Let me see if anything else came out because I took him off my starting lineup as of right now. I mean, it shows questionable for this week, but concussion confirmed by Gannon. Confirmed Monday that he suffered a concussion. Um, he was a bit wobbly, blah blah blah. So they're not sure, if he'll be able to make it for this week based on protocol. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but this Cardinals team, I still find them very interesting. Uh, you know, they're just one of those teams that you don't want to take too lightly. You still got to beat them like they're the Kansas City Chiefs in order to win the game because Kyler Murray's good. I think they have a lot of great weapons, and they have a bright future, but they're definitely going through a strong rebuild right now. It
oh,
was
sure.
good to see Trey Benson, who they drafted last year or this year, um, getting some reps, even though he only got 26 yards out of 5 carries. I mean, hey, that's 5 yards a carry. That's a pretty good average. Um, so I'm hoping that they start giving him the ball a little bit more and splitting more of the carries between him and Connor, because obviously this team's not going anywhere this year. Uh, I know it's still fairly early in the year, but 2-4 in that division, that's going to be hard to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a chance. Who knows what's really going to happen with the Seahawks and the 49ers are good, but they're shaky. And obviously, the Rams are scrappy, but they have so many injuries. They could just possibly make the last spot of the wild card, but at this very moment, I don't think the Cardinals are going anywhere.
No,
I think they're in a better spot, though, if you ask me. Well, I'll just hold that thought to myself.
no, say it.
No, I was gonna say a better spot than the Cowboys, but I don't want to be too premature with my Cowboys hate because I just don't think the Cowboys are anything. I think they're shit.
I would agree with you on that. I think the Cardinals are in a better spot because they're at least, they're not tied up in a ton of money other than Kyler Murray. You know, they have some draft capital. They can make some moves. I think they're in a good spot. But the Cowboys, they're in cap hell because they're not gonna be able to pay Micah Parsons. And
No.
Dak wants a new deal too. He's gonna be on a new team. So they're going nowhere.
Yeah, it's just odd. Cardinals' only wins were divisional wins. They beat the Rams by 31 points and they beat the 49ers by 1 point last week. We've lost to the Bills, the Lions, and the Packers and Commanders, all possible playoff teams right at the moment. Lions being a Super Bowl, one of the Super Bowl hopefuls, and it. I just don't know. I mean, their schedule is pretty strong. I mean, they still have Harbaugh's Chargers. They have Dolphins in 2 weeks, which I'm not sure if that's when Tua comes back or not. But they've got the Jets, Seahawks, Vikings, Seahawks, and they end the season with the 49ers. I mean, geez, you'd think that that's gonna be pretty tough to come out on top and make the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they're gonna be thinking playoffs. I mean, obviously, you never know. We've seen crazier things happen in the past, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think they're gonna be thinking playoffs this year. But next, let's move into your Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
very
beating the
exciting.
New Orleans Saints 51-27. The scoring in this game was very interesting. Buccaneers started off the first quarter 17-0, and then second quarter Saints scored 27 out of nowhere.
Yep,
And then Buccaneers just keep scoring after that.
they just ran
Uh,
away with it.
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting back and forth game, if you want to call it that. Um, but Baker Mayfield, I mean, obviously great performance, 4 touchdown passes. Did have 3 interceptions though. Uh, but we got an interesting running back duo between Bucky Irving yet again, and then Sean Tucker, who both got touchdowns in this game. Godwin with 2 receiving touchdowns, and Sean Tucker actually got a receiving touchdown as well. Um, Mike Evans was basically non-existent this game.
Yeah, that was interesting. This whole game was weird because I had never heard of Sean Tucker before watching this game. And I mean, he put up 136 rushing yards and 56 receiving yards. I'm pretty sure he won this week in fantasy. Anybody who had him, which nobody had him, right?
I don't
I
think
can't,
so.
I
I had
can't
Bucky
imagine.
Irving on one of my teams, but that's about it.
I can't imagine anybody who had him starting. I mean, geez, that would have had to have been a inside source.
Yeah.
But the ball was spread all around. Mike Evans just didn't get it going. Obviously, I'm excited about Chris Godwin. I have him on my fantasy team. So 125 yards, 2 touchdowns was great for that. But this Buccaneers team, man, they are fun to watch. They're putting up points on the board. They're winning games. And I told you, that's my team. Obviously, you have the tie right now with the Falcons beating them, but I'm still hopeful that the Buccaneers will win this division.
Oh yeah. I'm loving both of these teams. I'm loving both of these teams this year. Um, The Saints, they got 27 points, like we said. Um, Spencer Rattler, I mean, rookie debut, 22 for 40, one passing touchdown, two interceptions, did take five sacks. Um, you know, honestly, for some of these rookies that we've seen, um, I didn't think he played bad. I'm not the biggest Spencer Rattler fan, but I did not think he played bad. He definitely looked like a rookie
No,
out there, but
no, I don't think he looked bad at all. I think he looked comfortable. I think, like I mentioned earlier, him and Drake May both looked comfortable in their starting roles. And Spencer Rattler was, by a lot of scouts, thought to be the best quarterback coming out of last year's draft, or this year's draft. I don't know about all that, but he sure looked comfortable back there. And if he's going to be playing for the next couple weeks, I'm curious how he'll do. I think they've got all the weapons. Chris Olave going down with a concussion doesn't help, but Rashid Shaheed and Kamara should help him, and Foster Moreau, and I mean, he's got a lot of talent around him.
yeah, no, absolutely. Let's go ahead and move into this next game. I know your lunch is coming up to an end fairly soon. Um, Not much to talk about in this game. Indianapolis Colts beat the Tennessee Titans 20-17. This game really looked like it sucked, honestly. Um, Joe
Yeah,
Flacco, 189 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. Uh, Jonathan Taylor was out this game, so not a whole lot on the running game. And then Titans really, really stunk. Other than Tony Pollard, who got 93 yards and a touchdown. But Will Levis finishing the game with only 95 passing yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
big
Um,
stinker.
yeah, I think it's no question the Titans need to, reevaluate him, and maybe bring in some new quarterback to give him some better competition than Mason Rudolph. Not that Mason Rudolph played bad, because the game that he did play for him, I mean, that's their only win of the year.
Yep.
So it might be time to be starting Rudolph soon for them. Not that I think many people had high hopes for him, but I mean, you go out and make moves for people like Calvin Ridley, who did nothing this game,
Mm-hmm.
and Tyler Boyd. At this point, we're just wasting the ops last few seasons.
Yeah, where's he been? I mean, he's getting receptions, but
Yeah, he's just not getting anywhere.
yeah.
I don't know if he has that step anymore in him. I thought that when he signed with the Titans last year, it was a bad move, but
I have
hey,
a weird feeling that he'll end up a Brown. I think somehow, some way, the Browns will trade Amari Cooper for DeAndre Hopkins to reunite him with Deshaun and some stupid pick. And somehow Amari Cooper will look like a dog in Tennessee, and we're gonna get stuck with Hopkins, and then he'll leave us after the season.
that's an interesting theory. I like that actually.
Where
Um,
where do wide receivers go to die? Tennessee.
Julio Jones, yeah, Randy Moss,
Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins.
yeah, yeah. Not much else to talk about in that game. Um, Next we had the Chargers versus the Denver Broncos, where the Chargers pretty much had full control of this game, from start to finish. Other than the Broncos did make a fourth quarter push to make it interesting. Um,
They had the double onside kick.
yeah, double onside kick. Uh, I don't know what's been going on with Justin Herbert, if it's just the offense that Harbaugh's running. It's looking like he's getting a bunch of different running backs involved. Um, but he's just not putting up the numbers. But if it wins
No.
games, I mean,
Yeah, but that's the point. I mean, sometimes it's not about the stats, it's about the wins. I mean, just get to the playoffs. I mean, the Chargers are going to be sneaky. They're going to just slide right in. And I mean, Harbaugh is notorious for just taking teams to the top, as we've seen. Michigan, 49ers, even though they lost. I mean, he's got that dog in him. I did want to point out, though, it was odd in the beginning of the game. We immediately see Patrick Surtain go to the tent, and then on the other side of the field, Jim Harbaugh goes to the tent as if he's
yeah,
a
why
player.
did he go to the tent?
He has, I think it's AFib. He's got something with his heart. So this is the second game. I don't know if it's been in a row, but this is the second game this season that he has had some weird feelings and has to get checked out. But then they've won both those times. Weirdly enough, I mean he's trying to be lighthearted about it, but he said he is medically like allowed to talk about this because he's been told he has this condition. I know nothing about it, so I don't want to talk much about it, but it was just a weird beginning to the game because then without Sertan, that really took away a lot that the Broncos could do on defense. Um,
Yeah. Do you think Connor Stallions is on the sidelines for the Broncos?
oh, oh.
I know his high school team's not doing too hot right now, but
I don't think so.
um, but yeah, I know we talked about it earlier. So I'm not gonna talk too much about it. Bo Nix ended the game pretty good. Didn't have the greatest start, but ended pretty good. He actually had 61 rushing yards, which I did not know. He got his former college teammate Franklin a touchdown this game too.
Yep.
So that was cool. I know I wanted the Browns to go after him late in the draft this year, and was upset that we passed on him. But honestly, I don't know what would have helped us this draft at all. Probably not a whole lot, but
A shotgun.
yeah. Um, but let's go ahead and move on to the Steelers versus the Raiders. We had the Steelers win 32-13. Um, I think this box score looks, in all honesty, better than it really was. Uh,
Yeah, it's kind of a weird game. Najee Harris finally went off for like the first time in like 3 years, and he got the first rushing touchdown by a running back for the Steelers this year. It was a long one too.
yeah,
Good pickup in fantasy football. If you had Chris Boswell, he got me 17 points this week. Harrison Butker was on a bye, so I just looked for who was going to try to get the most field goals this week, and I trust the Steelers will always kick a field goal when they're in the red zone. So that was a good move. But um, Raiders, doo-doo, they're going to be in a spot where they're looking for a new QB. I mean, everybody keeps saying they're going for Shador. I still don't know how I feel about him in the NFL. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I definitely think they need to draft a run or a quarterback,
yeah,
but yeah, I don't know if he's necessarily the answer, but he might be worth the pick. Who knows? Just
sure.
depends on where they finish and what draft
Yeah.
pick they have.
Obviously, I
Um,
don't like seeing the Steelers win. They keep winning somehow. They can't keep getting away with this, but they do. But we move on.
yeah, their offense is I don't want to say playing as bad as the Browns, but I mean they're not really doing anything on offense other than kicking field goals. I mean, Justin Fields has been playing better. He had two rushing touchdowns this game, but
Yep.
I mean, if you have no pass game, you're going to come up against a good team and you're not going to win.
Right.
Um, Next we had an absolute blowout on Jerry Jones' birthday, where the Detroit Lions
Happy
won
birthday, Jerry.
47-9 against the Dallas Cowboys. Um, Unfortunately, in this game, Aiden Hutchinson, who I thought was going to win Defensive Player of the Year, um, did have a really, really nasty leg injury. So that really sucked to see. I didn't see the replay until after the game, just because I was trying not to be on my phone a whole lot that day. Um, but yeah, that was a big stinker for them. I hope that his recovery is good and he comes back next season better, but there's no shot he comes back this year after that.
Miles Garrett, you are a Detroit Lion.
I'd be perfectly happy with it. If that is the one team, if the Browns were to trade him, if the Browns were to trade Miles Garrett, I'd want it to be Detroit.
I don't want to see him go, but
I don't either, but
I
if
feel
if it
like
happened, that'd be the one team.
after losing Baker, after losing Kareem Hunt, after losing Joe Flacco, if somebody's going to go next, that's one of our truest. It's going to be Miles Garrett, and it's going to be to somebody who's a contender. So I fear that he's going to the Lions. And so I'm in the same boat. I would be most happy with him going to the Lions over anybody else. But
Yeah, someone that's going to give him a chance to win and, go after that Super Bowl that he wants to get it and
Sure.
deserves to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
Sure.
Um, I want him to be a Cleveland Brown for life, but, you know, Lions give you a good enough offer, you know, you don't see yourselves, doing anything the next 2, 3 years. Give the man a shot, get your draft capital,
Yeah.
start from the ground up, and start over again. Um, that and then the following season when Aiden Hudson comes back, that has to be the best D line of all, like
Yeah, it'd be
defensive
scary.
line combo of all time.
It'd be really scary.
Yeah, because it's not like you can double both of them.
No.
No, someone's getting back there at the quarterback. Um, Other than this, Dak Prescott looked horrible. Cowboys offense in general, horrible. Um, that Cooper Rush interception was awesome to watch.
Hmm.
That maybe who was it? Kirby Joseph, I think. I think
Yeah,
that's who got the interception.
every interception I just kept laughing more and more. Like it was actually comical. Like they just gave up.
Oh, it's pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. Yeah, Kirby Joseph, the one that he got in the end zone. I'm like, oh, the Cowboys might get a touchdown. Nope. Literally was just waiting on the ball and just took a
Yeah.
knee immediately. Um, so yeah, that was awesome to watch. It made me feel better about the Browns game today, or not today, but Sunday.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Cowboys are doomed. Um, the Falcons beat the Carolina Panthers 38-20. Um, Not a crazy game from the Falcons other than their running back duo both pretty much getting over 100 yards.
Yep.
Bijan getting 2 touchdowns and Algier getting a touchdown. Drake London starting to really get in a rhythm. 74 yards and a touchdown catch. And Kyle Pitts didn't get a lot of receptions, but had a 52-yard reception and finished the game with 70.
Yeah.
Um, and then Carolina, I mean, Andy Dalton's doing what he can out there. Xavier Legette got another touchdown. Deontay Johnson touchdown. I know there were people saying that Deontay Johnson's going to get traded. I don't see that happening. I think he's going to stick in Carolina, and I think Carolina's going to pay him at the end of this year too. Um, Chuba Hubbard, 18 carries, 92 yards. Um, Andy Dalton's still showing. I mean, he had 2 interceptions, like I said, but he's good enough. He's good enough to at least make it a competitive game.
Yeah, I mean, they started off 7-0, and I'm like, oh shit. Because I had the alternate spread of the Falcons winning by 9.5 points as well in my parlay, and I was sweating it out until the fourth quarter because it was a one score game until the fourth quarter. And the Panthers threw a duck right into the secondary of the Falcons, and Falcons was able to pull away. But yeah, just kind of a mediocre game, but nice to see the Falcons running back duo both get 100 yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, and then we'll go ahead and finish up with Sunday Night Football. This probably was one of the worst Sunday Night Football matches that I've seen in quite some time. Um,
It reminded me of COVID and the last couple years with Thursday Night Football when they had like the worst matchups possible. This was one of those games.
yeah, and I thought the Bengals were going to win by more. Thank God that my spread did cover on this one because I didn't think it was going to for majority of the game until that garbage time Chase Brown touchdown where he wasn't even touched.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just neither of these teams could get anything figured out. I mean, both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase both finished with over 70 yards receiving, but I mean, Jamar Chase, that was a late bloomer in this game. I mean, he wasn't really doing anything until second half. Um, Daniel Jones had a pretty rough game. I really like that Tyrone Tracy Jr. person that they have
Yeah.
playing running back. He was a receiver in college, and his senior year he or not transferred, but transitioned over to running back, and yeah, he's He's been awesome to watch. He's electric. I think he's going to be one of those players that sticks in this league for a while. And then Jalen Hyatt, he got active early, but yeah, he's
He's
a
been such a
disappointment.
letdown since he
I
got
was huge
drafted.
on him. I was
Yeah,
huge on him coming out of college.
such a letdown.
Yeah. But other than that, we already talked the Bills and Jets. Excited to see Davante Adams in the New York Jets uniform. Um, Jets need to wear those uniforms they wore last night every week, by the way. I like those better than what they've been wearing.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah. But other than that, Dylan, is there anything you wanted to say before we get off?
Looking forward to this week's gambling episode, coming off a big win in my parlay last week. Obviously, my picks weren't as good. Can't wait to talk about those, the lads. A lot of scoring this week. A lot of scoring. Maybe not by the Cowboys, the Giants, or the Browns, but everybody else. I mean, I can't believe the Buccaneers put up a 50 burger, and we almost saw a 50 burger by the Lions. So people are scoring points. Touchdowns are happening. A lot of kicking points. I mean, some kickers have more points than the whole team combined. It's just crazy what this year's been. So, week 6 in the books. Can't wait to talk about week 7 on Thursday. Make sure if you're gambling, you gamble responsibly. And call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have any problems.
Yeah, just real quick, I guess Davante Adams is already with the Jets. He flew out there last night,
Oh, wow.
so he been knowing about this.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned for Thursday morning's episode. We'll have it up bright and early for Thursday, so get ready for your Thursday night picks. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.